Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have a lot of vowels, and I could play something long like Arena for about 10 points, but I'm going to change. That provides a lot of useful floaters, and I'll keep these. Okay, has this paid off? I don't think it has. I would have aberrant onto a T. I'm not seeing a 7 here. Often when you change, opponent also changes. They feel you're close to a bingo and are reluctant to provide floaters. So were that to happen, I could play Baron for a decent score, which would be better than changing. There could be other 8s available. As soon as you've got duplicate letters, the bingo likelihood decreases. And in this case, I've got two sets, plus I've got the B. Now, no T. Does the P provide anything? Don't think so. P and B don't go well together. How about the U? No. Y. No. Okay, so my B can go above the Y for a decent score. I don't have anything to go above the P. But I can play underneath to get value from the P and the Y. 21 points, an okay rack leave. I could stick an R on the end of this, but the R is a good bingo-y tile. So I'm going with this. And I draw an R, of course. And, well, again, all bingo-y tiles. Duplicate E and duplicate R, so I don't think there is a 7 here. No single floaters. There are pairs of letters. P-A. Well, that doesn't look far off a bingo. U-R doesn't look helpful with 3 R's. Y-E doesn't look useful. I wonder how much of a score sacrifice I made by not putting a B above the Y, and that has created a hotspot for other scoring tiles. Okay, does a U help? Don't think it does. And is there really not a 7 here? No, not that I can see. So, wow, I was thinking about taking out the hotness above the Y, but I would then be placing a vowel underneath this triple letter square, so I don't think that can be the play. So I could play RE here, 10 points, keeping a decent set. I could extend that to Ren, but at the risk of upsetting the vowel consonant balance. Just wondering about making it even longer, because the N alone would add 7 points to the score. No, I do like this rack leave. I'm going with this. Wow. 2 vowels. Fortunately, opponent hasn't zoomed off into the distance, but this is grim stuff. And it's difficult to sort out. I guess I can play OR, O-A-R, above pew. But that's going to leave 3 vowels and a consonant, so inviting further racks of this ilk. Now, opponent plays Q. Q takes an A, so I feel I have to play in column 1. And I might as well play as long a word as I can. But what might that be? So I can play Arena. And this rack leave's going to be really weak, I and O, and it's only 24 points, and it's providing a massive X spot. I can play Rain. Is there any way of playing off the O? Noria. That feels a lot better. Yeah, this is a much nicer rack leave, and no X-bomb danger. Noria for 24. To an M, I would have Membrane. Is there a 7 here? Could there be one? Don't think so, but I've got scoring tiles. The B goes above YE, which has stayed available for a long time and has been taken. And opponent did have an X, so fortunately I paused before playing Arena. Now, no I or U on my rack, so to get value from the X, I'd be playing in column 11. Could there be a 7 here? It hasn't come to mind. I've got the man and men suffix rather. No. Okay, so let me avoid giving opponent the opportunity to put a scoring tile on this double letter square. How best to do that? So I can play Bream for 28. Yeah, and I think I will. Okay, this looks quite promising. I have Angelus on my rack. That plays in column 2. It also plays in row M. Fantastic. I am bingoing. That's also got the anagram of Langues, Langues, which plays in the same spot as Angelus. Now, do either of these play underneath Ague or Ague? Don't think so. And is there a third anagram of Angelus? Angelus, Langues, Lagoons. Bream certainly takes an S, may take a Y, I'm not sure. Oh, an opponent bingoes just before I bingo. I will be able to bingo back, but it's a catching up bingo rather than a going into the lead one. So Downey's hasn't provided any new spots. Wow, and all of my spots identified so far don't get the play doubled, nor would a play through the D. What about a play through the O? Not seeing one. So is it Angelus? Well, Langs is going to minimize the danger from this double letter square. Well, the X has gone, so these aren't as hot, and Lagoons would place a U under this spot for the Q, so I think this is the play. Unless there's a third spot. Sunny may be good, but that would be scoring less than Langs. I trail, and opponent may be reluctant to take these triple letter squares for fear of opening row O. I'm going with this. Okay, not bad. Through an L, I would have Idiolect. Very few floaters on the board. But there are a few in Downey, so what about a D? Not seeing anything. Wow, all of these float, or 2 of them, duplicate tiles on my rack. Don't think there's a 7 here. W doesn't look useful. You are not particularly useful, likewise with PA. 39 points for opponent. Well, they do now provide a scoring spot. Column 13, JO takes a T. So I can place sight here. I could play coat, but I'd like to split up the duplicate I. This is 30 points, which is decent. I'm providing a spot for my D, which is also really good news. Rackleave, not great. Don't think I can extend this any further, either at the front or the end. So I'm going with this. Well, this doesn't look far from a bingo. I trail by about 20. All bingo-y tiles, but duplicate O is the issue. Who's going to get the final blank? Could there be a 7 here? Oh, a bingo from opponent. Ouch. Do any of these floaters give me a bingo? What about an E? No. D. I've got the oid ending with Aaron. I. No. F. No. Okay. Fortunately, column 14 remains available and the whole of the top left is available. So why don't I open up the bottom as well with goo for 12? And this is a pretty decent 5-letter set. I'm going with this. So, am I bingoing? This looks pretty decent. I've got handier on my rack, but not many 7-letter lanes. Column 14 it doesn't play. And I don't think there are any other 7-letter lanes apart from a massive overlap in columns 1 or 3, and I don't have that. So does an O give me anything? Reardine is a 9. No, so let me consider the floaters in edifies. What about E? No. D. No. I. Don't think so. F. Oh, how annoying. This is such a nice rack. Fortunately, my H can drop underneath the vowels in Langs. Do I have any 5-letter plays ending AH or EH? Don't think I do. Okay. Does A give me anything? I trail by over 100, so I'm in pretty dire straits here. And is column 3 now available for handier? It is not. And what about these 2-letter pairs? M-E. No. I-D. No. T-I. No. Nothing goes in front of sight. So floating A. No. Floating O. Wow. Big miss if there is one there, but I'm not seeing it. How is good. But then that would take out the D hook. So I have AH here for 26, opening up a new lane. Bingos which hook AH are more common than bingos beginning with an A. This rackleave is really good. 26 points. If I played in row N, 28 points. So there's only a 2-point sacrifice. And I'm preserving the floating O in goo. I am... Well, is there anywhere else for the H? Well, I could make the how point for 31. So I'm sacrificing 5 points to preserve this D floater. I'm willing to do that since I trail by so much. Yep, I'm going with this. So, I have tendril. Does that play anywhere? Well, no, because O doesn't take a T hook. Does O make anything here? Don't think it does. Does tendril have an anagram? I don't think so. Do I have anything beginning with A? No, wow, this is a wretched rack because, well, it makes a bingo, but if that bingo doesn't play, then, well, it's just hard to score. And I try by 90 with opponent on turn. $39 points for opponent with W, Q, and F. Wow. On many a board, that would really slow you down. Now, do I have a bingo with F and O? So FRO or FLO? Don't think so. And TI is the other one I haven't considered. No, what about F? No. So overall, just pretty ghastly. What goes in front of axes? T does. R does. L. Yeah. I'm just assessing how likely UR is to be helpful, and I don't think it is. Shame TAH isn't good. Well, I'm just wondering about last term when I played AH, if I had something in column 14, because Jota's good and CH is good, but we'll see later. 13 minutes on my clock. What am I going to do with this rack? Bingos beginning with D aren't massively common, so I shouldn't be holding on to this D needlessly. I was thinking about playing in row N if I had a play ending ID. I could play this for 31 points, which is half a bingo. There's still an S and a blank to come. Yeah, I'm minded to do this. I draw a blank and an S. Fantastic. Rest of the rack, not so fabulous. But S and R both go after O. And I try by 100. So if I can get rid of V and one of the O's, I could be close to a bingo. But do I have a bingo right now? What about one beginning with F? Not seeing one. F and O? Nope. N? No. T, I, and L not available. 12 minutes on opponent's clock. I'm just going to look for sevens because a 7 beginning with S or R would play. It still would play because REH takes an S. That's the over prefix with sun. Wow, if it was double I, it would be Virinos and Virions. 7 minutes on my clock, 12 tiles left, which isn't many. Not a particularly productive exercise, but always worth doing. So where can I play off V and O and not obstruct anything on the board and maybe try and score well? Well, this does obstruct column 14, which isn't great, but it's 20 points. Let me count the remaining vowels. 6 out of 18. Wow. Do I want to burn both O's? Not really. But is there anywhere I can play off just one O with the V? I think the V has to go. Well, yeah, I can play Gov here for 14. And I draw a V and a P, so I am short on vowels now. So I'm glad I held on to the solitary vowel, or one of the two vowels I had. Do I have any overwords beginning with the O of goo? Nope. Yeah, this is just grim stuff. 10 tiles to come. 266 points. $24 for opponent. That looks like it should have scored more. So 8 tiles left. What am I going to do with this V? Still 2 A's and 2 E's. Aha, no S's or blanks to come. So I could do this, and this is going to cause a headache for opponent because a column 15 bingo is going to score massively, so opponent will probably take a lowly score to block this. And 21 points is quite decent, and the rack leave is nice. I'm going with this. Okay, so I have soprano in column 15. Do I have anything beginning with O? No, opponent's blocked F and TI. 21 for opponent. I think this is a lost game now, but my aim is therefore to try and minimize the losing spread. And I feel that there could be a bingo here. 4 minutes on my clock. What about this floating A? This rack plus a float plus an A. Pandours. Not sure about Pandours. Let's see. Yes, Pandours for 60. And I draw the Z. It's not going to be enough. But are there any hot Z spots? Zax's is good. The opponent's got a horror show, but it's enough to hang on. Was there a better bingo than Pandora's? I wasn't expecting Pandora's to stay on because I'm fairly confident that it can be spelt D-O-U-R-S. Far less so that it could be spelt this way. So I haven't seen anywhere to go out with the Z. T's beginning with the T of dental, that's an out, and Lee's. And if those are blocked, I've got Zia for a much higher score in column 15. But I'm not seeing anything amazing, and I'm not seeing anything which wins. Yeah, 18 for opponents. So do I go out? Let's see what Zia scores. 41 points, 388. Then opponents got Gil with a T. What can they do with that? Alternatively, I can play T's for 16, 25 fewer points. And what can I then score with my E? And I could change Zia to Z-double-E, 3 minutes on my clock. So where can I score most with A or E? Well, Tyke is good for 8. A or E? Let me do a brief squiz. Jota for 12. Likely to remain available. Azo for 12. So I think this has to be a better play, and it doesn't give anything away. Let's see how many points opponent can score, because of course I could have stopped them scoring that by going out. But I think this is the better play. Wow, Azo is going to take me to 400 points, as would Jota. Can I score any more than that? Just 14 for opponent, so I think that it was better to play Z. So 2 minutes on my clock. Let me do a squiz. Avour is good. Again for 12. Mar is good for 8. Yeah, nothing better than 12. And the final score, 406 for me, 451 for opponent, a winning margin of 45 points, so well done to opponent. Let's see what I missed. So, bit of a drubbing, even though the score's not too far apart. So it was me to go first. I changed. The alternative is trashing the rack, providing lots of bingo-y floaters for a lowly score. So I still like my play. Opponent plays Pew. Pew, no missed bingo here. And I play Bear for 21, which is fine. And the rack leave of ANR, I think, is best. Opponent plays Uni. Pew, no missed bingo here. So these are all racking. And I play Re for 10, keeping a very good rack, keeping 5 of the letters from retain, and I think that's worth a 10-point sacrifice, so I like my play. Opponent plays Gu. An Urger, that's nice. Keeping just the O. And I play Noria for 24, keeping AE. Yeah, I think Noria's better, although it's keeping 2 vowels rather than 1. They're 2 bingo-y vowels, and it's 4 more points. Opponent's rack, they play Axe. Phew, again, no missed bingo. Maneb sticks an A next to this double letter square. Ah, but it's being suggested underneath Ague or Ague for 36 points. F11. Oh, I think Barmen, that would have been the play, 30 points. Then Bream for 28. Yeah, I think it is necessary to take out this E hook for axe because opponents is very likely to have an E. And they do. In fact, they would have had sinewed as a double-double. But their rack is so good, they've got a choice of bingos in any event. And now I trail by a bingo. And it sort of stays like that. M5. Oh, leguans, that's a further anagram. But I think Lang's is the only one which doesn't place a vowel under this double letter square. And you can see opponent with the J may have had a big score. They could have had Judd's if a U was there, and Jade if an A was there, and Jedi if an E was there. So what do they have? Joe for 39. My rack. Phew, no miss bingo here. Sight, that's my play. Great rack for opponent. Great bingo of edifies. Phew, again, no miss bingo. I felt I was close to a bingo a few times. This was one of those racks. N1 inroad, that's nice. 31 points. What do? I play Goo for 12. Massive score sacrifice. Retaining Drain. Yeah, I think that's worth doing. I trail by a bingo, and Drain is pretty bingo-y. And on this board at the moment, there are great floaters in edifies, especially the E. And there's the D and R hooks for O. So I do like my play of Goo. Opponent plays Admit. And now I have Handier and nowhere for it. Phew, again, no miss bingo. Oh, look at this. Re-edifies is good. That's nice. 34 points. C14. Yeah, this is what I thought about after the event. 45 points. That's decent and a good rack leave. So I play AH for 26. Keeping Dinah rather than Rin. But head would have been better. Oh, wow. Look at this horror show for opponent. I'm only 90 points behind, but this wretched A gives opponent the magnificent play of whack to, well, really partly sort the rack out. I have Tendril, nowhere for it, and I play Dental. That looks fine. And opponent's drawn 2 vowels, so they've got out of jail. And they play OH to interrupt column 14. Oh no, Over Soon does play in row O, and I did think about Over Soon, but I was looking for a floating E for it. Ouch. 83 points would have taken me to 330. I would have been half a bingo behind. Yeah, that was available and missed. So well done if you spotted that. I play Gov. Interesting, Vower was available at this stage, and I had the S and the blank, but I think there's still... No, the S and the blank were the last two, so Gov, pretty awful play. Opponent plays KY, and now I play Vower. Opponent's rat, they play Biota. So, what happens here? I play Pandours for 60. Max available, F15, Spadroon and Vower's difficult one to see. And then 4 fewer points, A5 down from the N, non-poors. So there were better bingos available. And harpoons, which is the common word, whereas the other ones through the A are all very uncommon. Opponent plays Kurt. Now, I did have Lees and T's, but I think Zia and Z are better than the outs. Opponent plays Gee, and finally 12 points is all that's available. So what a game. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Really close, only a bingo between us, and I did have the option of closing the gap with Overseen, but I missed it. I did then bingo subsequently, which I probably wouldn't have done after Overseen, so after Oversoon. So I think probably the the game was likely to be lost regardless. However, you never know, and after over soon I could have had a massive Z play, which could have got me back into the game. So you just never know what could happen after a suboptimal play. But absolutely fantastic game nonetheless. Lots of tricky racks to consider. Well done to opponent on their victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.